Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Since 1911, the Pierre Part Store has been your one-stop shop. Family owned and operated for 4 generations, the Pierre Part Store has served the community by providing groceries, hardware, home products, and much more, including a full-service lumber yard. Now, we've added the Thibodaux store to the family with the same values and service we've delivered for over 100 years. The Pierre Part Store and the Thibodaux store, our family serving your family.
Council members, Mr. Trosclair.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Earlier today, we got an email, all the councilmen got an email from our council clerk regarding ordinance number 9568, which was voted unanimously on April 21st. And she stated in the email that she didn't get the ordinance back from administration until Monday, May 13th. And if you would, Tammy, put a copy of it up. And it came back to her with this line on it's a 2-page ordinance. And on both pages, it's got this squiggly line. And I'm just wondering, what's the significance of it? Who wrote, scribbled across it, and what the significance or intent of that line is? Because when the ordinance leaves the council and goes, voted by the council, and it goes to the parish president, there's 3 options available to the parish president to sign it. One is to sign it, and it becomes a law at that point. The other is to not sign it, and it automatically becomes law in 10 days. And the third option is to veto it, then it goes through the veto process. So my question is, what's the significance of this scribble, vertical scribble through both pages of this ordinance, and maybe who did it?
Parish President Bergeron.
So in this particular situation, my understanding, well, I'll say my understanding, but what happened with this is that after this ordinance was voted on, there was some conversations about it not having the language in it that it needs to have. And my understanding that conversation was had with all council members with our legal representation. So if that didn't happen, I'd be surprised, but I understand that was. And so from there to not sign it, which would let it become law, and then that we're gonna have a new ordinance coming out to address some issues that were addressed. My understanding with all council members, as far as it being signed and marked that way, when it left my desk, it was clean. My understanding it was turned in clean back to the council clerk, but I can follow up with administrative staff to understand what happened. So that's the first time I see it in that form.
All right, well, that's just, how was this delivered, Tammy? Was it hand-delivered or was it email? Hand-delivered. Okay, maybe we need to backtrack and see who delivered this thing because, in my opinion, I'm not an attorney and I'm not, qualified to be, interpret law, but this appears to be a kind of a defacing of government official government documents that the council voted to put this in. So maybe we need to do some research and see, try to back into it and see who would have done this, because this has to be filed and it has to be even though it's not signed, it still has to be filed as law.
So am I correct to understand that our legal representation spoke to everybody on the council?
I didn't get any contact.
Okay.
I'm not saying nobody else did, but I didn't.
Was anybody contacted about the seal ordinance and had a conversation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I was understanding a conversation was had with everybody, and that
About the discrepancy in this ordinance?
yes,
No, I wasn't.
yeah. So
I do know that we did an amendment on Monday's committee meetings.
I
know
think
that. I'm just I'm letting you know why I didn't sign it.
I think Steve's biggest ask is would you please look into see how the document got marked up? And please, whoever's carrying those things, make them aware that these are official documents that go into the archives, and we'd like to keep them clean.
100% agree.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Trosclair, Parish President Bergeron, Mr. Babin.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good opportunity. From what I was told by Ms. Neal, that there was language in here that she didn't feel that was, we'll use the term legal, all right? So I think it'd be a good idea from here on out. When we are changing an ordinance, that's law. So everything needs to be run through legal rather than just us write an ordinance, okay? So I think this will be food for thought for the future. So from anytime any one of us wants to bring up something to change an ordinance, you can write that ordinance, but that's what the legal department does best. And in that way, we are assured when it comes to us that we're voting on something that is in fact legal. So I don't like the way this was done, but the point still remains is this is a learning experience for us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. Mr. Harding.
Yeah, and the state here is not pointing any fingers in a thing toward anyone. Whether it was signed, not signed, Mr. Trosclair went through the process, whether it's signed, not signed, whatever. The point is a legal document. It's a rather simple thing. Find out when we put it in the archives, it does not have anything written on it. This other stuff is out of order. Just deal with the issue that he spoke about. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Any other council member announcements? Motion to adjourn, Mr. Babin. Second, Mr. Harding. Members, vote your machines. Seven yeas, 0 nays. We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.